Hello, I'm Russ Skinner. I'm a lead driver trainer for TP Trucking. We're at TP Trucking at Central Point, and in this training we'll be going over the proper securement of eyes lengthwise coil loads, commonly referred to as shotgun coils. The regulations for this type of coil load are found in FMCSR Handbook, Section 393.120D. TP Trucking complies with these regulations as well as employs an additional best practice securement guideline in an effort to exceed FMCSR requirements. In this training, we will utilize the following key points from the coil securement training overview. Use of general PPE such as high-vis vest, safety glasses, gloves, hard hat, and closed-toed shoes are required per TP Trucking policy. When available for use, be sure to utilize any fall protection equipment when working on the level of a flatbed trailer or above. Always know the working load limit, WLL, of your trailer anchor points and securement devices. Remember the weakest link rule. The securement system is only as strong as the lowest rated WLL. TP Trucking's best practice guideline is to secure at 80% of the aggregate WLL, plus one additional securement system. In your dispatch will be the number of coils and the weight of each coil. Use the securement formula to determine which devices are best for each coil and how many securement systems are needed for each coil. Coil weight times 0.80 equals load securement value. Load securement value divided by lowest rated WLL equals number of securement systems needed. Setup. The setup for eyes lengthwise coils differs from other types in that the coil racks are placed across the trailer deck instead of parallel to the trailer deck. The load securement formula is the same as the other types of coils. All of the equipment needed should be located in the strap box on the trailer. A friction mat is required to be in between the trailer deck and the coil racks in order to prevent movement of the coil racks during transit. Determine the correct number of coil racks needed based on the individual coil weight. The heavy-duty coil racks provided by TP Trucking are rated at 10,000 pounds WLL. Always use a minimum of 2 coil racks to ensure a stable platform during loading and transit. 3 coil racks are required for coils weighing 20,000 to 30,000 pounds. 4 coil racks are required for coils weighing 30,000 to 40,000 pounds. 6 coil racks are recommended per TP Trucking's best practice guideline for coils weighing over 40,000 pounds. When loading multiple coils, each one must be set up and secured based on individual coil weight. To prevent the coil from contacting the trailer deck, place 4x4 dunnage on coil racks and adjust their spacing if necessary. The ideal height once the coil is placed on the dunnage will be 1 inch to 1.5 inches above the deck. This is done to avoid product damage and lower the possibility of the coil rolling off the dunnage. Eyes lengthwise coils have one chain that is hooked on each side of the trailer in front of the coil, then through the coil to the opposite side of the trailer behind the coil, forming an X. Feed the chain down through the rub rail, either around the spool or stake pocket, then hook the chain with the tip on the hook pointing down and the non-welded part of the link in the belly of the hook. Repeat this on the ends of each individual chain. Never hook to the trailer anchor points, such as the rub rail or stake pockets, as this is against company policy. Pull the chain tight, place edge protection under the chain, and hook a bungee to keep the chain tight until the binder is hooked and tight. Repeat this on the other chain. Place a piece of carpet, blanket, etc. in between the chains as they cannot touch in transit while on a load. Always alternate the binders on each side of the coil to keep the load centered by pulling in opposite directions of the trailer. This in turn helps prevent load shift as well as assists in keeping the load balanced while in transit. When additional securement is required to adhere to the TP Trucking best practice guideline of 80% aggregate WLL, attach the chain to one side of the trailer through the coil and then attach to the same side of the trailer. Please note, Per FMCSR Handbook Section 393.106D, Paragraph 2, this method of securement has a WLL reduced by 50% of the lowest rated WLL, as it's considered a direct tie-down when attached to the same side. Throw 2 or 3 straps over the top of the coil. Ensure they're hooked on opposite side of the trailer to assist in reducing the chance of a roll-off. When tarps are required, always place padding over the top of each coil prior to tarping in order to avoid damage to the equipment. To keep the padding from sliding off the coil while tarping, throw a strap over it. This padding is not considered edge protection for chains or straps. All coil loads must have pictures taken before you tarp or leave the shipper and be sent to loadhelp@tptrucking.com for securement verification. Emails sent to this address are typically viewed and replied to within a 10 to 15 minute time frame. If you have any questions or concerns, please call either the Central Point, Oregon or Thompson, Georgia office. Thank you for following along on the TP Trucking Eyes Lengthwise Coil Training.